What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. This is the Skechers SKX1 in the Diamond Ice colorway. Very excited to try these on feet. They're quite hard to get in Australia, and so I had to order them from overseas, but I wanted to get both these and the Razor in this colorway because I think the color is just absolutely sensational. As you guys know, I have reviewed a pair of these before. They are right above those John Stones boots. They're an all black pair. It was sort of the prototype that Skechers sent to me. These ones are the exact same boot, but we're gonna go over all of the tech features and of course look at the beautiful colorway from the Diamond Ice Pack. So let's hop into the unboxing experience, which is a very unique one for Skechers because they actually do all of the tech specs right here in a sticker on the side and top of the boot. So you get all of the tech specs there. We won't look at it too much right now because we'll go over that in a minute. You've got Skechers football logoing there. You've got the Comfort Technology Company, which is sort of their tagline. And then you've got Skechers football there on the outside. And then here is your sizing chart. So you've got the Skechers SKX 01 low. These of course come in a low top and a high top per the SKX history. These are a 9 US or a 10.5 in women's. This is a Euro 42.5 and a UK 8 or a 27 centimeters. That is a true to size football boot for me. These fit very, very well out of the box. In my opinion, those blackout ones were really nice. So here's your string bag, very Nike-esque, as you guys know, probably from my previous Skechers reviews. Skechers hired a lot of Nike engineers and product developers, and they basically made two boots that were really fantastic, in my opinion, for a first go-around, but with, obviously, oh, yes, with the expertise. Yeah, wow. Wow. These are incredible looking. With the expertise of the Nike product developers. So we'll talk about that in just a minute, but these are absolutely sensational looking. Okay, one gripe already that I'm just gonna say before, and then I'm never gonna mention it again. The blue on the Skechers logo doesn't match the blue on the studs, and I like the blue on the studs better. So fix that, sort it. And I know that this blue color I think is like the Skechers blue, but I would much prefer this color, especially with the white. I think it looks a little bit better, but anyway, wow, these are absolutely fantastic looking, and I am really excited to get these on feet because I think these are gonna be a banging shoe to wear, and they're gonna go with basically every kit, which is cool as well. So let's get this other one out. There you go, there's that left shoe, and then nothing else in the box. Get this out of the way. Here you go. Okay, so Skechers SKX. What an absolutely fantastic looking colorway. I gotta admit, this particular colorway I think would make pretty much any football boot look good. I appreciate especially the way that they've done this sort of pearlescent finish on this sort of matte pearl finish on the upper, and then they've gone with this beautiful, almost metallic chroma finish on the sole plate, which just looks insane. It looks like, almost looks like water or something on the bottom. It's very cool. So really nice feeling football boots. So the Skechers SKX is, of course, Skechers' more control / power boot. It is very, very similar to the Phantom GT 1 and 2, which was sort of the product developers that came over to Skechers, used the Phantom GX2 or Phantom GT2, excuse me, and GT1, which they had done to be sort of that was the blueprint for these particular models. You can tell a lot of the DNA from the texturing on the upper, which we'll talk about in just a sec. They have their own name for it, plus the fully knit upper. The sole plate is almost identical to the GT1 and 2. The one thing though that from my experience in the all black pair, in that prototype pair, that these really fix is the shape and the fit. One of the main reasons why I thought the GT1 and 2 were just kind of, it was a cool concept. A lot of people who fit in them really liked them, but the shape was super awkward. And so that percentage of people who actually really enjoyed that boot was pretty small compared to, say, the Phantom GX1 or even the previous generation, which was the Hypervenom Phantom 3, Phantom Venom, and those Phantom boots. The GT kind of sat in this weird area where the shape wasn't very good. And so They've since fixed it, obviously, with GX1 and GX2, but these sort of took the DNA of everything that was good with that original GT1 and 2 and put it into a boot that's got a better shape, but all of this sort of the same, I guess, tech aspects of it with a little bit of flair from the Skechers brand. And so that is something that's really exciting, I think, for the Skechers brand to be able to make a boot like this that fits a lot better than the GT1 and 2 and sort of take sort of a failed experiment at Nike and bring it into the light as their first sort of power and control boot in a way that is really, really well done, in my opinion. It's a really fun boot. I actually wore the all black pair quite a bit in training last year for Flower City Union, and they performed super, super well. It was like on the tip of my tongue gonna be a game boot. So it tells you a lot about a boot like this. So from a tech spec perspective, let's just go over that really fast. So this is a fully performance fit knit upper. That is the material. You've got SKX logoing here, but their knit is called fit knit, and the entire upper is fit knit. And then over the top of it, you've got PSC, which is precision strike control. It's essentially Nike's generative texture, or GT, as I mentioned before. So you've got these little dimples that are sort of built onto the top of that fit knit upper, and you get these lines as well, which give you a really nice amount of grip on the ball. It's not sticky at all, so that's something that people often sort of have a misconception about. So a boot like this actually isn't sticky, it just has quite a bit of texturing to it. It's debatable whether the sticky feeling or the textured feeling actually makes more of a difference as far as control and maybe getting a little bit of extra spin on the ball. But I would say for the most part, the grip element, like actual grip elements, give you a little bit more pizzazz. But I would say that from a control boot perspective, this texturing actually feels really, really nice on ball and on feet. The upper is quite soft, I would say. I'll take this little, if I can get the paper out. They tend to throw in a really large, there you go. Okay, so pretty soft as far as the knit uppers go. The fit knit actually is quite pliable, is quite soft, and you get that softness pretty much throughout the entire boot. And that's one thing that I really like about these, is they didn't take a whole lot of time to break in, which was super, super nice. So I really enjoyed wearing the all black pair, and of course I'll probably really enjoy wearing a pair of boots that looks this beautiful as well. They use the Hyperburst Pro sock liner as well, which I'll try and take out if I can get that. Here we go. Oh yeah, beautiful. All right, so this is the Hyperburst Pro sock liner with the SKX logoing on it as well. And this is the same sock liner. It's really cushiony. It's very, very, it's not quite gel-like, but it kind of has that sensation to it. It's really thin, really, really nice. No grip elements on the sock liner, which is fine. But it is very, very plush. And this is because this is the same sock liner that they use in a lot of their running shoes. And so I feel like a lot of football boot brands are now adding a lot of technology that has been in their running shoes, because they're realizing, well, hey, footballers do a lot of running on pitch, so why not add some of that technology, maybe make it a little more comfortable. For the pros, just to be clear, for pro players like Harry Kane who wear, this is obviously the Harry Kane boot basically, for the pros who wear the SKX, they probably have custom insoles that are, or sock liners, I guess you could say, inserts that are made by a different brand. They're probably carbon fiber. They probably have their, the custom fit and feel. But for the normal consumer, putting something like they have in the Hyperburst Pro sock liner in here is actually a really nice touch. And it does actually really add to the sort of the comfort level underfoot after playing for several hours on end. That's something that I really appreciate about this particular model. So you've got as I said before, you've got the low cut and the high cut model. Obviously I don't have the high cut model with me. I prefer the low cut model for pretty much every football boot. The only exception to that is, say, the Tequila, which I prefer the low top laced model, but the high cut laceless model is sort of in its own league of laceless football boots. It is by far the best in my opinion. And so that's the only other time I would say that I would prefer the high cut. But yeah, this is that's pretty much the tech specs of the Skechers SKX 01. It is one of those football boots that is really interesting to me, and I often overlook it when it comes to training sessions, but then I come back to it and I put it on and I'm like, man, this is really comfortable. Why haven't I worn this more often? Maybe that's just because Skechers just hasn't made football boots other than this one. This was their first attempt at a football boot, and of course the Razor being their first speed boot. And so maybe it's just not front of mind, but I think they're doing a pretty good job. And as far as I can tell, there's some colorways coming out that are really, really cool. So without further ado, guys, let's hop into the on-feet portion of the video. We'll go over how these fit, how these feel, go over sizing. And of course, I'll talk a little bit about performance, but my guess is I will end up doing quite a bit of quite a longer play test and of course 1 month review on these, just because they are a boot that I know fit me really well, and I really want to share sort of more in-depth thoughts on the Skechers SKX. So without further ado, let's hop into it. All right, guys, out here in the backyard with the absolutely stunning Skechers SKX in this beautiful crystal white colorway. Oh my God, so sick. Let's get these on feet. So here you go. There's an up close and personal with the Skechers SKX. Now I am wearing a pair of WeFoot grip socks, which are my favorite grip socks on the market. It's a company that I reached out to. They're in South Korea, worldwide shipping. You've got the thick version, which I have for you here today. These ones I beat the crap out of because I use them for games. And then I've got the thin ones on as usual for the Tryon portion of the video. You get 20% off with code NOAH20. So they've hooked us up. Definitely go check them out. First link down in the description box below. Here we go for the try on of the SKX. Ladies and gentlemen, ooh, and boom, there we go. Yeah, I think they've nailed the the shape of this football boot. The SKX feels super nice on feet straight away. I think they, especially here in this toe box area, they've really, really done a good job with sort of the shape, making it a little more boxy as opposed to more pointed, and that really helps just the overall fit and comfort, as well as quite a bit of flexibility through the midfoot with this fit knit upper. So super nice sizing right there. Little bit of extra space on the end, but that's going to break in no problem. True to size with 9 US, and they look absolutely fantastic on feet. Let's get the, oh, little sticker fell off. Attention, this chrome finish will wear off with use. Oh, focus, hello. There you go. Kind of funny. All right, thank you, Skechers, for the sticker. Okay, get the other one on as well. Knees are cracking. Bang. There we go. All right. Yeah, really nice fit and finish. So one of the things that I actually noticed with the black pair is right here. See how you have, like, I can fit my finger kind of in that ankle area, and that's a pet peeve that I've talked about a lot in my videos. That's like a pretty good sign that the boots aren't going to fit. The thing about these is the fit knit actually stretches in this area, which allows me to pull the laces a lot tighter, closer. See that? So if I undo it, and I can put my finger in there, and then let's tie them. So you bring it over, you tie them tight, or as tight as is comfortable, and then all of a sudden it's gone. So that's something to be aware of. You always want to try on boots and actually like tie the laces tight, because it does eliminate those weird gaps and stuff. And then as the boot stretches, especially with the black model, that one stretched, and I'm able to pull this a lot tighter and closer to my ankle, so there's no kind of holes or weird gaps around the ankle area, which is super good. But there you go. There's a first impressions. The boots are very, very comfortable. I'm actually really surprised. Whatever they've done with this sole plate is really fantastic, because it is super, super stiff in like a really good way. I don't mean that in like a, well, it's not going to give you any foot mobility, but it's a very, very nice sole plate. It's very flat. So as you can see, there's no kind of arch where it comes up and it brings you up onto your toes. It's quite flat, which I think I prefer. The Phantom GX has that same kind of flatness to the sole plate, which I really like, and it just gives me a little bit more of a grounded sensation. That's just my own personal preference. You may have something different, or you may like a little bit more of a rounded kind of toe box area. Feeling on feet is really, really nice. This fit knit upper does a good job of wrapping the foot. It is a little bit plasticky feeling straight out of the box. It's not like synthetic plasticky. Maybe stiff is a better word. So because of all these ridges that come from the precision strike control elements, which is their texturing kind of that's their like the name for their texturing material. It does, especially these little loops that kind of go all the way around the upper, it does give a little bit of a stiffness straight out of the box, but these over time actually do a really nice job of breaking in, and they are super comfy to play in. And then you get a lot of flexibility in that upper once you break these in. So we'll definitely be doing a playtest video and probably a 1-month review in these. There, you've got those Skechers or the SKX logoing on the back, but they look really nice. So there's a full look at them with an all black kit, white socks. It's really hard to argue with. These are really cool looking in my opinion. And yeah, they fit really nicely as well. So that's something that I always really enjoy. Not a whole lot of heel slippage at all, which is super nice. The perforated kind of suede heel padding does a nice job of locking your Achilles and your heel in place, which is a good thing, obviously. And then I was talking earlier about sort of the squareness of that toe box area, and it really does do a nice job of fitting your toes so that your toes aren't kind of scrunched up in a little pointiness. So if you can see, it's actually quite boxy in the toe box compared to a lot of other boots on the market. You imagine the competitors to this are like, you know, the GX, Tequila has a pretty roomy toe box area. Puma Future Ultimate is pretty pointy as well now, but I would say these are up there as far as like out of the box comfort, especially for a little bit of a wider foot shape. Touch on the ball is very, very nice. It's really seamless, which I love. You can't really feel the texturing when you're juggling just because it's the exposed fit knit in the lacing system area. But I would say that while you are manipulating the ball on the ground, you can feel those PSC textured elements pretty well, especially when you're striking the ball, you're passing, you're bending the ball. That's a situation where you're gonna feel those a little bit more. But the upper as a whole, even with that texturing element on the outside, is quite thin just overall. And so you get a really nice feel for, I wouldn't say, maybe I wouldn't go as far as to say it's barefoot feeling, but it is getting really close. It's really close to the ball, and you do get a really nice touch and stuff as well. From an underfoot perspective, like doing any sort of manipulations and rolling, and as I said before, if you guys haven't seen the video of the blackout version, you can go test those out, or go check that one out. I didn't do a play test of these ones of the blackout models, just because that wasn't part of my roster of videos, I guess, at the time. You guys will get a play test, and I'll talk a little bit more about this. The reason I'm telling you actively what they feel like, which is usually not something I do in an unboxing, is because I actually have worn the black version of these, which is the same boot, like quite a lot. So that's why I'm speaking from experience. Underfoot feeling with the ball is super nice, super neutral. The stud pattern does a nice job of digging into the ground really well. And I would say overall, you're gonna get a really nice amount of traction on both AG and FG surfaces. I honestly have found no issues with playing on AG with these. Unlike some of the competitors like the GX1 in the FG model, the GX2 in the FG model, particularly with the Cyclone 360 sole plate, just like as a no-go for AG, but these ones are actually totally fine. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. You will definitely see a playtest on these at some point, hopefully in the near future. It's been kind of crazy getting so many reviews out at once, so I will do my best, but you will see one coming soon of the Skechers SKX in this beautiful, what is it called? Crystal diamond colorway or something diamond colorway? Anyway, absolutely stunning white, like pearlescent white and blue colorway. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure you go down in the description box below. First link will be for the WeFoot grip socks. You can go check them out. They are fantastic and they ship worldwide, which is awesome. So go check those guys out. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Like the video if you got value from it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, be awesome. Take care. I'll see y'all in the next video.